Hi, my name is Shalissa, and I'm a research assistant with the New England Flying Squirrel Network. And today I will be showing you how to submit your data using our Survey 123 app after checking your nest boxes. The easiest way to access our survey is by going to our website, which I have open here, and clicking on this little hyperlink, and that will take you to our survey. From there, we can begin to plug in our data from our check. So first, we're going to start with submitting a photo from our check. So here's my photo of my box. It kind of has these whole leaves here, some shredded bark. And then you can plug in the location of where your box is. I find that the easiest way to do that is by hitting this little circle button, and it'll kind of triangulate on your box location. And then remember that we will not publish the location of your nest box to the public. This is just for research purposes. And then here you can plug in your nest box number. Remember to put it in like this, so with the state first and then the box number afterwards, just so it's a little bit easier to read in our sheets. You can plug in the date of your check. And then as you're going through your check, just make note of how it went. So first you shake on the box a little bit, and then you're going to count how many animals, if any, came out of your box, or how many are inside of your box. So this is counting both of those animals, if you still have some inside of your box. We didn't have any animals come out of our box for this check, but sometimes you could have a flying squirrel, mouse, chipmunk, bird. And then you can record how many animals came out, or how many animals you encountered, because they still could be in the box sometimes. We had 0. Here you're going to record if your box was used or empty. Our box was used. It was used by a flying squirrel, so we'll plug that in there. If your box was used by a mouse or a bird, you could plug that in as other animal use. And then sometimes the boxes will have combination use. So you could have a nest and a feeding station. So like the nesting material, like shredded inner bark, and then maybe you'll have some chewed up acorns or the other nuts with the flying squirrel chews. You could record that here. Ours was just a nest. It was in combination use. And then here you can specify what materials were used in your flying squirrel nest if you had one. So we had shredded inner bark shavings, and we had the whole leaves. We didn't have moss in this one, but sometimes they'll put in moss. And you can also specify other if there's other materials as well. And then if you had a flying squirrel feeding station, you can specify how many nuts were in your box. So it could be mostly full of nuts or just only a few nuts, like the start of a feeding station. And you can record if you had a flying squirrel latrine as well. And then, as I mentioned earlier, with other animals using the boxes sometimes they'll leave a nest behind. So you could have like a shredded leafy mouse nest. You can have a twiggy bird nest in there. You would want to specify that here. And then if you have any questions, this would be a good place to put it. Like if you're a little bit confused about what kind of nest you have in your box, sometimes it's a little bit hard to tell. Because, for example, a mouse could be using your box first, but then after that, a flying squirrel will be using it and putting their material on top. So you'll have maybe both shredded leaves, but also some moss. So it's a little bit confusing there. You can specify that here and ask your questions here. And then you can also describe the contents of your nest box as well. And then you can plug in your email in case we have a question for you. And you write in the name of the data collector and plug in what state your box is in. And then there you go. There's your nest box check and how to plug in your data.